a picture of an island called Minong. The island was later called, and this is thousands of years ago, we're talking 6,000 years ago, this thing was a huge center in Lake Superior. This island of Minong, later called Copper Island, and then now it's known as Island Royale. It's the largest island in Lake Superior. And it's 45 miles long, it's 9 miles wide. It's the home of the Grand Medicine Society. The Grand Medicine Society is an organization, still is, an organization of shamans, medicine men, and healers who were retaining the knowledge, bringing the knowledge down, and expressing it to one another, and then going back to their own tribes and lifting the people to their own truth. Now, to the ancient Ojibwe, what we call North Pole, they call the South Pole. So, what you have to see here, I'm from Thunder Bay, so I'm going to ask you folks to kind of flip how you see this and try and see it how I see it and how medicine men see it. Thunder Bay is here, so we're looking south. These recognize the 4 tribes. And it's not really a tribe, it's an organization of tribes. But here we're looking at the Manitoulin area. Here we're looking at Michigan and the ancient copper wielders. This island is actually still in the States. In fact, the actual border is probably just like this, floating out in the water. So it's 15 miles into Lake Superior before you get there from Thunder Bay. It's also 15 miles from Madeline Island down there. Over here we're looking at the influences here from Red Lake, which is Cree based, and the influences here from Lake Nipigon and Norval's Thunderbird clan, which is kind of his originating Sandpoint area. So what we're seeing here is, and what they did and decided to do is these four quarters of the earth. This is how they looked at it. You know, so they speak in the 4 directions. There's also the 4 quarters, right? In between the directions, and the meaning is close, but it's different. It's more, when it's like this, you're talking about an energy. When it's like this, you're talking about force, energy coming out. So, okay, now let's have a look inside the island itself. Actually, I'd like to mention a few things that are really incredible about this island. This island actually connects directly to Mexico from 1 billion years ago, when the whole thing opened up as a rift and came back together. And all here, what you see here, and if you look at it, when you go home, have a look. Go to Google Maps and have a look. These are all ridges. The Bear's Head, this whole area, and we're talking, a couple miles, it's rock. It's just pure rock. This harbor, what do they call it? It's a fascinating name. Oh, it's Rock Harbor. Yeah. So the mouth is Rock Harbor. Okay, so this is the path of initiation we're looking at. This is like going to school. These are books. These are the things that when you see these crosses, it's almost like obstacles. Here, go learn about copper pipes, for example, right? Well, it's going to take you through. That's going to take you some time. So this is the school process, initiation, recognized here, and this is the first initiation, learning again, second initiation, learning again to become one with the Spirit. Now, what this relates to specifically is the 7 fires prophecy. And that's what this antenna is all about. You can see here the 7 fires. You can see here the 7 fires being brought down. And the 7 fires prophecy is actually about a little bear that we see in the sky. It's only in the winter time, but if you walk out here, it's probably up in the sky now if the stars are up there. We call it Orion's Belt. Norval once gave me a little sculpture of a bear that he got from South America. and it was the Orion's belt. The head of this little bear is those 3 stars, and the deep symbolism and background of this it's a southern constellation, but I can't remember what normal people call it. But a lot of people are blinded by what we call the Great Bear and the Little Bear, to think that's what the Indians were talking about, but they weren't. They were actually talking about the South Pole, which to them was the North Pole, which is where it all happened, like 20,000 years ago. There was a huge trading colony, and it migrated up. What made this famous? What made this island so famous? The purest copper in the whole world, 1.5 billion tons of copper, was floated out of here over thousands of years, hand dug by natives. There's some incredible stories about that, and shipped to Mexico, to South America, all over the place. And the most valuable thing to the Midewiwin Society and to Indians who know is a seashell from the southern tip of South America. We call it a Migi shell. And what it looks like Antarctica covered with ice, the seashell itself. And it was given in the 7 Fires prophecy so that we would remember where we all came from, or at least never forget. You know? And yeah, so it's a fascinating story of that. So here you see the transmission. Let's say this is the transmission. It's all held together by these tribes, but here's the process, the hidden process, the stuff Norval was not supposed to show people. These wigwams that you see here, they actually symbolize everything that we would think a wigwam would symbolize. You look over here at the shaking tent that's sitting inside this beaver, you know? The connection there is a beaver lodge. It's something we can all see, but we don't know what's going on inside a beaver lodge, and we can't get inside it unless we can swim underwater, and we're skinny, you know? So, unlike, wigwams are about the sphere, the shaking tent is about connecting the heaven to the earth, and we won't get into the details of what a shaking tent is, but it's a little bit different, and that's why the conical shape. But in a wigwam, things to make one whole happen. There's several kinds of advanced shamans that are part of the Midewiwin Society. Norval called himself a Wabinoan, Wabino shaman, which means he was one of the people of the dawn sky. And there's very little known about them. They're kind of renegades. But to actually become a member of the Midewiwin Society, there's only 4 ways that one can become a Midewiwin. And one of them is the Wabino, which is basically you take your own choices along the way, and you take your initiations by empowering over and over, focusing and concentrating, basically going to school forever, you know. Most of the middies are more involved with the spiritual development of their own culture and tribe. Where shaking tent practitioners, that's the third option for being able to have entrance into initiation. And Wabino shamans both have very specific and magical activity, whereas many tend to understand what we have. They work more, and about 80% of them are Midew practitioners, to do with herbs, or maybe just understanding the environment, the basic things that really all of us should still be connected to, but aren't. Now you can see here, the 7 fires is being taken in to the representative of this tribe. Outside of each of the ceremonial wigwams are placed poles. And on the poles are medicine. And usually they're furs, like one's significantly to do with the tribe and to do with the Midewiwin Society. So sometimes we're talking otters hanging there, you know, but basically the vibration of that. So here's the gates to the village. Here's the village. These are the vibrations being worked on. So to me, I can't tell you for sure, but my interpretation is this is a shaking tent practitioner recognized. This is a Midawiin recognized, and there he is. The 7 fires are there, you see? Right? This is working out a problem. And so it has less to do with being, but basically this is a small version of this. And this is a small version of this, only they are animalized. They're actually men, they're actually bears, they're actually, you know, anyhow. So through this gate, you get the Wabino, who actually follow, they're also called the sky people. And they follow the path of initiation, and they record it. So this initiation is recorded here so that they can all read it. The village here, you know, and here. So this picture is about them retaining the information that's really, you know, this thing 6,000 years ago, I mean, it's a fact that they had these huge pit mines that made, and they were trading that long ago. So that same information they've tried to retrain through this place because, as we know, society ripped that away, so they had to go and hide. You know, in fact, this island was hidden, even from most natives. You know, but it was a great place to go and hunt and fish. Just amazing. Yes,
Ritchie,
I'm done.
this question about the palette, very limited colors, brown, black, tan. What's the
significance of that?
Yeah.
Probably not overly. If he had several colors available to him, he would have taken it another. Yeah, there would probably be more in there. There's a few things I didn't mention. For example, here's the source once again, right? This is similar, the circle of life, the sun, but the idea of unity and duality underpins everything. So when you look at these simple things like this, you're looking at the idea of unity and duality into unity. It's what we face every day, every way. That's what decision making is all about, right? Through contrast, we understand, you know, and when we understand, we're unified, but as soon as we're unified, there's something else there to say, pick up the books and figure it out. So that's the story of life. And it's reflected through everything he does. So once you understand the significance of the number 1 and the number 2, you know, you actually begin to understand what Morrisseau is all about.
Great.
You know, and by the way, that little symbol there, we have a few owls around here with the ears and that, but that little symbol here is a symbol of the little guy, they call him Great Rabbit, but really the rabbit that is kind of like the host of the show. You know, Bugs Bunny has the Bugs Bunny hour. Well, in native lore, the creature of wisdom, one way or another. I mean, those rabbit ears, those are the antenna we're talking about. And whenever you see that duality, like you see in that medicine snake over there, we're talking about wisdom, which only comes from contrast. We're talking about that constant dance of duality. And whenever you see that, cute little owls and stuff like that, a lot of people are afraid of duality and darkness and things under the water or whatever, bats at night, things, right? Owls, you know. But what he's trying to do is make it accessible to us all, because there's really nothing to be afraid of. You know, if we know how to keep them on our own little leash, or, you know, snakes and whatnot.